Good evening. Welcome to this evening's practice. My name is Rebecca Lee, and we will be starting off with a session of guided meditation together first. So before we start with our meditation, I'd like to invite you to check your posture. If you're sitting in a chair or on a cushion, the key thing is to set up your body, upper body, by sitting in a way so that you can allow this slight pivot in your pelvic area by having your hip slightly higher than your knees, allowing the lower back to fall into its natural curvature that allow your skeletal structure to hold up the body, then minimizing the use of muscles. When we do that, that will allow the body to relax. And when the body is relaxed, the mind will be relaxed. And so you might want to have your hands supported, left palm on top of the right palm. That will allow your shoulders to relax. Make sure the head, the neck, and the spine are in a straight line. Can be facilitated by tucking in the chin slightly. Tip of the tongue touching the roof of the mouth behind the upper front teeth. Mouth closed. Eyes relaxed and downcast. And if you are meditating with your eyes closed, be sure to allow some light in so we do not become drowsy, and also to not create tension in the muscles around the eyes. We begin. Feel the relaxation of the top of the head. Directly experience the subtle sensations of the crown relaxing as we allow the tension to melt away. And feel the relaxation spread to the forehead. Check to see if we are holding tension in this area by habit. Maybe from worrying. And allow the tension to melt away. And feel the relaxation spread to the eyeballs and eye muscles. We hold a lot of tension in these muscles by habit in our daily life, from the analyzing, planning, judging, comparing, commenting. And right here, right now, there's no need to do any of that. And we can give these muscles a vacation and allow the tension to melt away. And feel the relaxation spread to the facial muscles. Check to see if we are holding tension in these muscles by habit. Maybe from having to hold up a certain facial expression for the world to see. Right here, right now, there is no need to do that. And we can give these muscles a vacation and allow the tension to melt away. And feel the relaxation spread to the entire head. And feel the relaxation spread down the neck, Directly experience the subtle sensations of the neck muscles softening like melting butter as we allow the tension to melt away. And feel the relaxation spread to the shoulder muscles where we hold a lot of tension by habit in our daily life. Directly experience the subtle sensations of these muscles softening as we allow the tension to melt away. And feel the relaxation spread down the arms and down the forearms and all the way down to the fingertips. And feel the relaxation spread to the chest area. Check to see if we are holding tension in this area by habit. Maybe from anxiety, fear, sadness, or grief. And right here, right now, we can give them a rest and allow the tension to melt away. And feel the relaxation spread down the torso to the lower abdomen. Trust that the skeletal structure can hold up the body. And these muscles do not need to work so hard. Allow the tension we hold in these muscles by habit to melt away. And feel the relaxation spread to the upper back. Directly experience the subtle sensations of the muscles between the shoulder blades softening as we allow the tension to melt away. And feel the relaxation spread down the back to the lower back and all the way down to the buttocks, where we feel the sensations of the body sitting on the chair or on the cushion. And feel the relaxation spread to the thighs and down the legs and all the way down to the toes. And feel the relaxation of the entire body sitting right here, right now. moment after moment. Cultivate this clear, wakeful mind. As this body-mind relax into every emerging present moment. And as we do that, we notice the subtle changing sensations of this breathing body. And maintain this clear awareness of the changing sensations of the body breathing, moment after moment. Stay with the changing sensations of the body breathing, allowing the body to breathe on its own, naturally. We may feel the urge to control the breathing, to make the body breathe a certain way. We need to remember that the body knows how to breathe. It has been doing that since the moment we were born. It knows how to breathe. Just allow the body to breathe on its own. And we can make use of the subtle changing sensations of the body breathing to anchor us to the unfolding present moment, moment after moment, gently, in relaxation. And if the mind drifts off, leaving the space, losing contact with the body, not a problem. All we need to do is to make use of this as an opportunity to practice coming back, practice remembering to find our way back to the changing sensations of the body breathing. And if we notice thoughts arising, not a problem. That too is part of the unfolding present moment. Allow it. It's already here in your awareness. And allow it to be fully experienced, fully heard, and seen. And when it's time on its own, it will go. Thoughts are not your enemies. They're a natural part of being human. Sometimes there are more thoughts, sometimes less. It's like traffic sound outside the window or bird songs. Moment after moment, cultivate this clear, wakeful mind. And when it drifts off, gently bring our attention back to the changing sensations of the body breathing. And it doesn't matter how often or how long the mind drifts off, as long as we can find our way back, we are practicing well. I'd like to invite you to maintain this clear awareness of the changing sensations as the body begins to move, remembering that even though the formal sitting practice has ended, we can continue to cultivate this clear awareness of the body and mind and the environment around us. This evening, in this session of living in uncertainty and compassion, I'd like to talk about the cultivation of unconditional kindness to ourselves and others. Some of you might have noticed during this time of pandemic and many things that are stressful happening around us, we have experienced more stress and anxiety in us because of the uncertainty around us, not knowing what's going to happen, perhaps feeling that there is a lot of planning, wondering what's going to happen, and also just the sense of danger, worried about being infected by the coronavirus, for example, fearing for our loved one getting sick, or fearing for ourselves or our loved one losing a job, losing a livelihood, or not being able to have the proper schooling. Many things to worry about. And this heightened level of stress and anxiety is very taxing on our body and mind. Many people have reported troubled sleep, not being able to sleep, or very poor quality sleep. And many people have also reported a drastic decline in their productivity, in their ability to focus on their work. You might have experienced that as well. And that is because when the body is experiencing stress, because it senses danger, it is directing a lot of energy to be vigilant, to prepare, to watch out for danger. And there is less energy for other things. So we might feel more exhausted and less productive, and that can frustrate us. And we might find ourselves being more irritable. Some of us may notice that, well, I'm normally quite calm and be able to get a good handle of myself. And some of you might feel that maybe my practice is really faltering. How come I am so irritable and easy to lose my temper to people around us? And that is particularly painful when we are, many of us are spending quite a bit more time with the people we love most in our home. And when we get more easily irritated, then we can take it upon them or not respond in a kind way that we may usually be able to manage to do. And when we are exhausted and not as calm, it is also easy to fall into unhelpful habits, a habit that we have worked very hard to unlearn. So maybe some of you had noticed sort of these unhelpful habits creeping up from underneath in this time. Maybe habits of overeating, maybe snacking more than you would like, or habits of binge watching. A lot of people talking about binge watching Netflix or TV shows, things that they knew that was not really healthy for them, and they could find themselves just falling right into it. And very often that was our coping mechanism when we are under a great deal of stress, and also when we are exhausted and the mind's irritable, that we are more prone to fall into these habits that we normally knew are not helpful and had the focus and discipline to refrain from falling into. But we might find ourselves kind of falling into it. Maybe other unhealthy habits, such as maybe drinking, or sort of allowing healthy habits that we have worked very hard to establish to lapse. For example, we have worked very hard to establish an exercise routine and or even meditation routine, and then we find that we completely fallen out of it just because we just couldn't hold it together, because we're so stressed out or so irritable, so exhausted. And when we notice that happening, it's very easy to become very frustrated with ourselves and get angry at ourselves and blame ourselves for being such a poor practitioner or lacking discipline. And it is important in these moments to cultivate unconditional kindness towards ourselves, recognizing this habit of being harsh on ourselves. And when we take a moment to look at what's going on, and we will notice that, well, this person, ourselves, is under a great deal of stress because of this extraordinary situation of being in a pandemic, being in lockdown, and being in a great deal of uncertainty about their job or having to do their job very differently. And it's all very exhausting. And it's really quite understandable that one is a little bit more irritable and not being able to have the usual calmness or discipline to stick with the healthy habits. So, being unconditionally kind is to notice how we have this habit of telling ourselves that we don't deserve love, we don't deserve kindness unless I am good, unless I exercise every day as I had told myself I would, unless I am as productive as I'm supposed to be. All the conditions that we have set up in our mind for ourselves to deserve love and kindness. So, this is an opportunity for us to notice these habits of mind that we have not been very compassionate to ourselves. This compassion, this kindness, is has comes with all kinds of strings attached. There are conditions. I will only be kind to myself if I fulfill these conditions. Well, now under this extraordinary situation, we are not able to meet some of these conditions or many of them, not being able to be as productive as we normally can be or as disciplined as we usually can. What are we going to do? To practice unconditional kindness is to recognize these conditions, make it impossible for us to have self-compassion. It is a perpetuation of a habit of harshness towards ourselves. So, as we recognize these conditions and also understanding our situation, then we can be unconditionally kind to ourselves. Many people are quite afraid of this idea because it sounds like self-indulgence. But when we understand that we are not as productive or not as able to be disciplined as usual because of the heightened level of stress and the extraordinary situation we are in, and we ask ourselves if someone else is in that situation and they are unable to do what they usually can do to meet their usual deadline promptly, what would we do? What would we say to them? We would be understanding and tell them that that's okay because it's crazy time. Take your time. Be kind to yourself. So we can practice remembering to do this to ourselves as well. Recognizing these conditions that we have set for ourselves for us to believe that we only deserve love and kindness with these conditions fulfilled. This is very important because when we can be unconditionally kind to ourselves, that is also when we can be unconditionally kind to others. While we are undergoing this, experiencing this stress, of course, our loved one, maybe our co-worker, are experiencing the same kind of stress, and you may notice them being less productive, and maybe also being more irritable. Maybe we'll notice children at home behaving in ways that they don't usually behave. Maybe we could be misbehaving, being more difficult, acting out more often, or loved ones losing their temper more often than they would. And when we understand that is happening to ourselves, and when we can be unconditionally kind to ourselves, we then can also have this unconditional kindness for our loved ones, being understanding, empathize with them because we know how it is. And so by cultivating this clear awareness of our body and mind and how we are reacting to the situation, and also the conditions we have set for ourselves to believe that need to be fulfilled in order to deserve kindness. And we might have set the similar kind of conditions on others in our mind for them to deserve kindness, and noticing how that all cause suffering. And this clarity then allow us to be more compassionate to ourselves and compassionate to others, especially the loved ones that we are spending so much more time with. So I hope you will make use of the practice to cultivate unconditional kindness to yourself and others around you, both your loved ones and your coworkers and people that you come into contact with. And thank you for your practice this evening.